Welcome everyone today. We've got a special guest, one of the best tutors in MK Snap.
One of the best, Jack. Okay. All right, Jack. Good to see you again.
I've got a few questions for you.
Always pleasure. Always great to speak to you.
Can you tell us about yourself and your role at Snap?
Yeah, well, obviously my role at Snap, I'm Health and Wellbeing Coordinator. Yeah. My background, as you said to you before, is education. So I like, always been interested in sport, and obviously the health and wellbeing plays aside in education. Yeah. You're not going to be able to concentrate in, I do history. You're not going to be able to concentrate in history unless you're reasonably well. And so on a personal level, obviously, I see a Chelsea top. Yeah. Obviously, I'm a big Liverpool fan. It was great last year, not so great at the moment.
No,
and I'm not even boasting about it, am I, Jack? So
no, you're not. We beat you a few weeks ago.
Cowering, haven't I? I've got Liverpool at the weekend, so that's going to spoil my weekend.
You were very quiet when Chelsea beat you 2-1.
Never quiet. We wait a couple more losses and I'll be louder than ever, Jack. I'll have to find a different way of tackling it. So yeah, that obviously my personal life. You've met my wife and son and whatever. And so,
lovely people.
I like lucky people are lovely.
Both. Okay. What made you interested in health and well-being?
It's just something that I've always tried to bring in everything. Yeah, and my first teaching role really was I did lifelong learning at Tesco's.
Yeah.
And that, with lifelong learning, obviously you're teaching about Tesco's, you're teaching about people maybe want to go on to do different jobs. But with that comes the health and, so it's just a part I've always done. Always been interested in sport. Always, not saying I've always been an expert in it, but I say, looking at it, why can't people do that? Is it they're just not doing it, or is there something behind it? So just challenging all the time. So I said, we do specific health and wellbeing sessions, but for me, there's a thing. If I did maths, if I did history, leadership, there's a theme of health and wellbeing goes right through it. Because without your health and wellbeing, then it's very difficult to do anything.
So what Snap's all about. We have a program where we get people with adults with learning disabilities to work in Tesco's. Do they have many adults with learning disabilities in Tesco's working?
That's a brilliant question, Jack. Because when I was in, I think one of the good things these days, and we've still got a long way to go, when it comes to disabilities, learning disabilities, of course there were people there, but we only at times noticed obviously wheelchairs noticeable, but they weren't necessarily being either diagnosed or given the label or whatever. So but at Tesco's there's a different one because they had their own learning centre. They had potential. Tesco's is massive, so it's got progression within Tesco's and stuff like that. But it was very interesting. I think it toughened me up because I did some. Yeah. But don't get me wrong, I'm quite happy with the sessions I did, but they weren't always well received, and there was worse things said than I didn't like your session. I've got to say that. So it was a good background. So, but again, I've always loved sport. Yeah. I've always been any sport I'm interested in. So I'm even interested in I can't dance to save my life, but I'm interested in it. Yeah. So I'm interested just about everything. So So health and wellbeing is going to play a big part.
So as you're the health and wellbeing coordinator at Snap, could you tell us what it means to you in your words?
I think it's a brilliant thing to do. I think it's a massive responsibility. We've just, with Stephen sat with us, the Arsenal fan, a Chelsea fan and a proper fan sat here, we've just been...
That's funny because you'll blow us both in the league. So.
Well, it is. That's pretty horrible, really.
Maybe Steve got the
pretty bad times, isn't it? I have said if Arsenal win the league, I'll emigrate, but I'm not sure.
I don't think they'll win the league.
I think they will. But okay, we are really digressing on that. Yeah. So can you repeat the question, Jack? Sorry.
Okay. How do sessions help learners in their everyday lives?
I'm absolutely proud of the fact is, again, I spoke at the place this morning, who's going to donate some wheelchairs for us.
Yeah.
Is that I think sport, health and wellbeing, even before you do a good session, it's actually really good that people want to be in them, yeah?
Yeah.
So I think just about everybody here, if you take overall health and wellbeing, not just sport, you take dancing, you take the gardening, you take probably only a few people are not in it. And I think it helps, obviously, it's fun, you want them fun. It helps with things like teamwork, turn taking. So it's got a lot of education type things useful.
Yeah.
But most of all, we do an hour and a half session, we do 3-hour sessions, which is great. You do 10 minutes, is still better than nothing.
Yeah.
And also, again, what always drives me, what I'd like to do more of is, again, I think at Snap, we've got a brilliant hall up there.
Yeah.
We've got people we can work with come in, we go out. We do probably 30, 40 sports, different sports.
Yeah.
People getting exercise at Snap.
Yeah.
The problem, and you were with me with Lee when we talked about
Yeah.
barriers, is actually doing stuff outside here.
Yeah.
You know, there's two things I think there. One, I'd love people to be able to, you know, yourself and that to go to a football club, a cricket club outside, you know, when you're not at Snap. But it does bother me, and it's always in my thoughts.
Yeah.
What are people doing outside? You know, obviously our learners are brilliant, but they're vulnerable.
Yeah, and they got.
And you know, you do your job, do your things. You know, just sat in a room, you know, not doing stuff. So I'm thinking, if I can get the movement, the activity in Snap, then at least we're doing. You know, we're going halfway there. What I'd like a lot more to say is to me to some say, you know, I went to the cricket club last night. It was brilliant and stuff like that. But as you say, there are a lot of that. You know, and you know as much as anybody. We had a great time at Leap, and you spoke.
Yeah, we did. Yeah,
incredibly well.
Really good cause and a really good place you can be aware of different things in the community. So you mentioned the donation we're getting for the wheelchairs. How would that help Snap grow?
That's an interesting question, Jack. I keep getting put on the spot on that. I'm thinking all the time. In the first place, I think, you know, the guys and girls in here who are in wheelchairs.
Yeah.
They bring their own wheelchairs in, yeah? But I think in the first place, you know, it'd be nice. You sit in a wheelchair, Jack. You see what it's, you know, and then you've got to get more knowledge and what it's like to be in one, yeah?
Yeah.
I've seen them look quite sporty, you know, so they can be used for that. But also, I think, when I talk about this morning, I think just about everybody in this place, in Snap, gets involved in some sort of physical activity, however long, what it is. But I'd like to get that from maybe, you know, 5 to 10 not doing it, to everybody involved. Now, for Sultana in gardening spoke to me yesterday. She mentioned a learner, I won't mention that, who loves going in the garden but gets very tired very soon. Yeah. You know, but you know, in the garden, once you're out in the garden, you don't be coming in every 5 minutes. So that learner can actually have, I know you can give a chair, but they're not necessarily that comfortable. So you can actually sit down in a wheelchair.
That's good for your health and well-being, going outside for 5 minutes. Even walking the dog down the road.
But that's excellent, Jack, as well. You know, it's health and well-being ain't just smashing a football around for an hour and a half or something. You know, there's all sorts of stuff we can do. And I think, and also on the wheels, you know, when they come in, Jack, you'll see them. You'll see them. The staff will see them. Yeah. What can we do with them? Because you say they do look really good. Hopefully, we can use them properly.
Have you seen any positive changes in learners who take part in your sports?
Yeah, I have. I think there's no doubt in that. I think that since I've been here, the way they, I don't say behaviour because we haven't got bad behaviour. We've got the odd thing. Is the way people take part in the sessions. I've noticed, you know, because we're very lucky with a big, you know, to have that space there.
Yeah, we are.
I think our sport and provision is second to none in Send, and from my jobs before that, I do know that I've worked in a lot of places like Snap. Yeah. So I think we have that. So yeah, I think it's an excellent space. It's an excellent. Yeah. And what it does then, people, you know, I think are much more willing than when I first started to come into sport. They're willing to stay there. Yeah. You know, that's another thing. Yeah. But also things like turn taking, I think. Because although we've got a big hall, you've been in sport, we've often got like 20, 25 people in it. Yeah, it's quite so you've got to utilise that in a way. So there will be some times where you're not, you know, we usually put people in fives and things and we compete. Yeah. There'll be times where you are sitting down. Now, I'm aware you're sitting down. Yeah. But I think we've got, you know, what we've done encouraging people, encourage other people. Yeah. So, but you know, the walking group, some of the people who've got in the walking group, I thought wouldn't want to do it, and they absolutely love it. So
yeah, definitely. Another question is, how do your sessions help with things like confidence, making friends, or feeling good about themselves? Learners feeling good about themselves and wanting to like getting really into sports and get stuck in.
Well, if you talk about sport, I mean, sport, you know, the actual. The evidence of actually doing physical exercise and the chemical things, you know, it does make you feel happy, in general. But I think you just want my sessions to be seen, you know, want people to develop, to, you know, to get better at stuff. But it's making it that it is enjoyable in there, so it's different things. And that comes from experience and seeing what works. Not everything works.
No.
And one thing works for you doesn't work with someone out there.
That's true. That's a big.
That's just life.
Yeah.
So we've got to look at that. But it's just to say, just always try and be positive where you can. Yeah, that doesn't mean like, just say, oh yeah, that's brilliant when it's not brilliant, But you don't then never put anyone down for trying. I think that's the first thing. As far as I'm concerned, and it's not just this, it's leadership, history, other stuff to do. If someone's trying, giving them courage, I'll absolutely give everything myself to help.
Yeah.
And I think that's important. I'm encouraging a bit of competition, but doing that in a way, we've got, if I'm, we throw things like the javelin and stuff. Now, you've seen there's people who can throw that against the back wall.
Yeah.
There's people who can't throw it very far.
Yeah.
So how do I go to a competition or that gets everybody involved? So, because I want to encourage the people who can fire it, out of the building, but I also want them to give the others a chance. So then you can do, the people who can throw it really far can, you look at accuracy, in the areas and stuff like that. Yeah. So it's all sort of little things, but I do think what's great about SNAP, and it's not just SNAP learners, but these groups we have in general, is they are with you. If I came in here and said in the sponsor, we're going to fly at the moon today, people would say, yeah, we'll give that a go.
Yeah.
No, well, why are we doing that type thing? So
yeah,
I think if you show people that you're interested as well, which I think again is the first rule of. I'm probably interested. It's easy to tell you that I'm interested, Jack. But if I'm sat, who's Jack? So as long as you show you're interested and encouraging, then I think that'll rub off. And that's just everything, not just sport. Everything.
What advice do you give learners when they're having a tough day?
Depends what the reason is tough day. I'm very much myself a believer that even in a tough day, that tomorrow's another day. So. But encourage them. Try and find out. And again, if you are, show genuine. Not as if I'm just saying it for the sake of it. But does it mean someone just needs a little bit of time out? But what I do say, the type what happens. Yeah. Someone will say something bad's happened outside and that. But what I'm doing there, so you come to sports halls, but you're safe in here. You get on with everybody in here. Not while you're here, nothing can. That's try and put that to a side. But again, Jack, obviously it depends on why the tough day is. How serious is it for somebody?
Exactly.
Learners in here, just like everybody, face some massive challenges in life, and that's a difficult one. But it is showing an interest and some sort of empathy with people's problems.
Yeah.
And if you can help, do it. Because I think the worst thing is just try to say I'll help and do nothing. That's the thing.
Have you got any ideas you want to introduce into your future sessions that you run?
Yeah, I mean, you should never say, even if something works well, you should always challenge yourself.
Yeah.
Could I do it differently? Now, again, talk so much about health and wellbeing and sport, different things.
Yeah.
We do lots of sports, with our staff here. We've got people coming in, we have people going out. But there's other sports I'd like to get involved with. I think we've got we've got the badminton centre down there. I've got quite good contacts there. Gymnastics I'd quite like.
Yeah.
We do boxercise. Got quite good links with the boxing club. Now I'm not saying go in the ring and start punching each other.
No,
but imagine standing in the ring, dancing around it, and putting the gloves on. It looks great. So I think just more sports. Again, I would like. It's not necessarily me, but I would like to see participants from here in doing sport or other physical activity outside of here.
Yeah.
If I could prove in whatever time I'm here or been here that's gone from there to there, then that would make me absolutely proud. But as I say, there's a lot of barriers to that, and it's not just the participants. Unfortunately, sometimes the send sessions, if a club is struggling, because they're the first to go. And it's expensive, isn't it? That's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah. The learners that take part in sessions, what do you hope they take away from your session?
Well, I think the first thing that they want to come back, Jack. I can't get people's physical well-being better if they're not with me. That's the thing.
Yeah.
But I hope they feel that they've enjoyed it. I hope they feel that they're improving.
Yeah.
And they've achieved.
I've improved in your sessions. And other learners have as well. I've seen it and I've.
Well, thank you, Jack. I think they do, and obviously as well. Some is obvious, some is not so obvious. So you're always looking at that. What can I improve? What can I? how can I get that learning? How can I cater for you and that person over there? So I do hope that, and it's not. I think the walking group's popular. Haley's street dancing is very popular.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Performing arts is very popular. You've got some. Camus art is very popular. So they tell me. Okay, did I? All right. No, I'm not crossing my fingers, Jack. You're right. Okay, but so that's important. But in the first instance, I want people back, and I think that's what I'm quite proud of here. That everybody, just about everybody, is involved in sport or the wider physical activities.
Well, what is one message you would like to share with anyone listening about taking care of learners at SNAP and how it makes you proud? And I can't sort of wrong with the question there.
Well, I think one of the things again, I think I've mentioned more as well, is just make sure everybody's different. Yeah, don't just think we're in a centre. I think the figures about 160 learners attend this, not all every day.
Yeah.
Look, so you need to cater for those needs, not just label, not just. Yeah. But it's creating an environment in here where people want to come and they feel safe. That's the first thing, and that's not just the classrooms or the sessions. That's the whole thing. So it's important, not just dismissing people, but their needs and so I think. But I think my message, and this is very personal as well, because obviously I'm not put my personal life and what I'm outside here, is that everybody's different. Try and cater for those needs in a caring way, and ensure, like anything, guys and girls in here are no different than anywhere else. If they think you care, you've been honest with them, you'll usually get that back, and it's going to benefit them. Yeah,
definitely. Well, thanks for that, being honest with us and the listeners and everyone who tunes into our YouTube channel.
Thank you, Jack. It's always a pleasure. We've done quite a lot of different Snappy Radio, haven't we?
Yeah.
Guten Tag.
Yeah, Guten Tag. Hello in German that I've learned in your session.
I might say. Okay. Have you got a last question, Jack?
I've got one more question. What are you most proud of with Snap? And remember, I don't know what I'm about to expect or hear, but go for it.
I'm proud of the health. I'm proud of the learners. I like to say. I think it's good fun in this building. I think for staff, it's good. It's people who will try, and that's all. That's all you can ask of anybody really. But I'm happy. I don't know what the provision was with them here, but I think it has certainly developed quite a lot of health and wellbeing. I'm also very happy because I love sport. I've mentioned many times, but my background is accountancy, it's education. Yeah. Who's always wanted to do sport. So I'm quite happy with the work programs that you've been and I'd like to develop them. I think they're very important to give you, not leaving SNAP. I think it's really good to still have SNAP as a base, but give you other choices as well. So I think that. I've been quite involved in a lot of the education sessions. So even though I think the leadership course we do, which for yourself is, I think that's a very important one.
Could you tell us a bit more about leadership and why you started doing the course?
Well, you lot make it harder for me, to be honest, in here. The leadership's course started as a sport leadership course. Yeah, it's sport. And the end of it, it's all about teamwork, learning the rules of different sports. Being able out in sessions, there's a lot of places around here. Could you go and help out?
Yeah.
And and you get learning things about risk. You prepare a session yourself. Others do your session. Yeah. So you get all that, and then you think yourself, how did it go? How might I change it if a different group comes in?
Yeah.
So I think that. But what I've done to it, because that started as a 15-week course. Now I'm going.
Yeah.
So I've extended the leadership, and I've quite like. So obviously we've brought in women leaders. We've done quite a bit, in historical leaders. Still others, leaders in different genres. So like, who's a leader in music? Who's a leader, history of music? Who's a leader in the history of films? So it's absolutely widening. And the way I'm trying to do it is you have one sort of practical session, and then go back to one, who's looking at history or something like that. But it's the aim of it is we know, and Steve knows, and we've talked about this a lot. There's a lot of people in here who've got really good skills. Everybody's got good skills, but have got leadership skills. You see, we've talked about this so much that you're doing it all the time. You see, I know often that's some of the people who don't want to eat in here, but you go and sit with them, and I'll ask Jack, are they eating? Make sure so-and-so does eat, and say, that's leadership.
Yeah.
So we want to give people the leadership in here, the leadership in life, but also reward the fact that, of your abilities. And I think that's what I want from leadership. Well, to prove that leadership isn't just saying you're the Prime Minister, you're showing it every day. Yeah. Every time you do something, there's some sort of leadership in it.
Yeah.
And, and there's so many people capable of doing that. And I think, again, the leadership course is quite difficult. It's a different one, so it's not going to be for everybody. But I'm quite happy the way it's gone so far, and I've seen the evidence of it in the past as well. So,
and what makes you? This is a final question, I promise. What makes you come back to Snap every day to give the sessions out and offer learners new skills? And
well, again, I'm going to, it's obviously there's a professionalism in me. I can point to my life in general. I'm hardly ever ill or off, which I'm lucky about that.
Yeah.
But no, the motivation is to...
I heard rumours that you sleep over here sometimes.
I've never done that. I can tell you a few stories about people in the past in centres, but that's for another day, Jack. But now, motivated to come in and do a good job. I motivate myself to do anything I ever do as well as I possibly can. That's what I want to do. But in the classroom, I want to make sure that every single session that I'm doing, I do as well as I can, and that doesn't mean everyone's brilliant. I've done some hopeless ones in the past, or things that haven't gone. But as long as so it's for I love the participants in here. I love pushing them in a way that's that doesn't upset them and go out.
So get them to reach their goals.
Just like seeing people achieve their full ability, whatever that is. Not funny when you don't know what everybody's full ability is. That's something to find and push for. I do believe in lifelong learning, that you're never too old, you never know everything.
Well, that's it for today. Thank you for joining me, Dean.
Always a pleasure, Jack. Always a pleasure.
So thank you for today.
Thank you. And I look well.
It's a pleasure.
All right, I'm not going to say anything about the top to finish off. But